before we get off Ric Flair, you mentioned at the beginning the energy drink. Have you seen the photo?
The photo of
Someone, and for the life of me, I can't find who originally posted the picture, but someone snapped a photo of Ric Flair's Woo energy drink, now heavily discounted. Was $4.99 a can, is now 79 cents or something like that.
really
Mm-hmm.
$4.99 a can. Then it's a collector's item if you buy it. 79 cents a can. They're trying to get rid of all of them. But I tried it. I did try it on this show. No, I asked Dutch anything. I tried it on there. And the drink is not that bad. I guess this people just, something's wrong with that. And let me tell you the number one thing wrong with it. Got Ric Flair's name on it.
Well, that's funny. That's funny because it's gonna drive like initial interest because it's Ric Flair and everything. But the thing is, Ric Flair's also a rather slimy character, in the sense that he does like these CBD.
Wait a minute, I wouldn't go that far. It's a slimy character. Rick, come on.
Well, he's not Johnny Integrity, is he?
You know the guy who owned Ring of Honor?
Kerry Silkin, yeah.
Yeah. He owes him like I think he said he owed him 40 grand.
We better get used to being owed 40 grand because he's never going to see a dime of that.
No, he won't. But hey, if I owe somebody $10, that bugs the hell out of me. Are you okay? You keep adjusting yourself in that chair.
Yeah, no, it's my leg. It stiffens up if I don't have it in a certain position occasionally. So
okay, continue. I get us. Then I go everywhere, so I get us off base. So you got to get us back on.
Well, the Woo energy thing is. I looked at the ingredients. Right, it's not full of absolute as much crap as like I actually looked at Monster energy drinks, and that's full of acids and sodium chloride and stuff. Like who needs salt in a drink? But anyway, Woo energy apparently may not have taken off as well as maybe they hoped. But that was pretty much what I was going to ask you. Is do you think Ric Flair's a double-edged sword in that sense, or there's an initial interest and then people just move on because it's an oversubscribed genre?
How did they advertise this on AEW?
They have it on their version of like the big screens, where the entrance is, and they walk out, and then they had the images of the can on those screens throughout the shows. I mean, they've got Ric Flair there under contract. They're not bringing him in anymore.
Mm-hmm. So when do you see the Flair, the Woo, the energy drink? Just when they on the entrances?
I'm not sure it's on the entrances sometimes. The last time I remember seeing it was on a Collision. So yeah, they'll walk in the entrance down the ramp, and then you'll see the pictures inside, or whenever the camera captures it.
These shows aren't drawing a lot of people.
No,
and not drawing like Raw and SmackDown are drawing.
No,
so. They're paying to be on the show, and maybe the show just is not producing for them.
Well, I think they paid for the sponsorship something like $500,000 more. So to sponsor
part of that is Flair's salary.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. So Woo Energy paid Tony Khan. Let's just make up a number, unless of $600,000 to sponsor the shows for so long. And for some reason, that number sticks in my head. And then they've taken all that money, and then they've paid that Ric Flair to put him under contract. So they're getting Ric Flair ostensibly for free, and then they have to advertise his drink. But they're not putting Ric Flair on TV and getting any mileage out of that contract whatsoever. And he's recently tweeting how grateful he is to WWE.
Listen.
He's an idiot, isn't he? He's got no loyalty, this guy.
No, he's not. I mean, Flair is Flair. He's what'd you call him, sleazy?
Slimy, I think I said.
He don't give a crap either. He's about half nuts. No, he's about 75% nuts And I think when he almost died, when was he almost 2016, 2017?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe even later, but a few years ago.
I'm glad he recovered, but
he's been great material for the podcast, if nothing
yes,
else.
he got into it with me for no apparent reason, but he did. People still remember that. So,
well, the thing is, he's making up with Jim Hurd for whatever reason. He's making up with Eric Bischoff. He's making up with Vince Russo. It's just you.
And he tried to make up with me.
Right. I want to mention this. So so you tweeted and you tagged me in it, so I saw it, I think. Yeah, you must have done. Or you mentioned it to me. And you said, are you going to forgive him? And it's like, well, he apologized once, and then you heard rumblings that he didn't mean it or he was forced to. How did you hear that he was either forced to apologize or what? Because you went off on him like a day after accepting the apology. You heard something.
Well, I don't think he meant it, of course. I think in one of his drunken rants, which are every day, by the way,
yeah.
And he just goes off on his subject of the day. And one day he happened to pick me, and I happened to not like it and got back on him. And because I know him, I don't know him as well as a lot of other people know him, but I know him well enough to know that Rick he's kind of flaky. He's always been like that. So, and I wouldn't trust him. I made a bet with him one time on a football game, and this is a spur of the moment deal. That he bet me. I'm a big Clemson fan, and Clemson was playing a national title game, and Flair said, "Oh no, they're gonna get beat." I forgot who they were playing now. And I said, "No, they won't." He said, $100. I said, "You're on." And I never bet. But I thought Clemson would beat this team. I said, okay. And then they bet. And he didn't give me the money personally because I got hurt. And I was at home getting ready to go back. And this fall I broke my leg again. And then I asked somebody to get my money for me and send it to me. Jack Swagger. I said, "Hey, get my $100 from Flair." And he went to it and he said, "Dutch wants his $100." And he gave it to him. And he said, he sent me my money. But at Flair, and a guy told me yesterday he bet $1,000. No, Flair bet him. He said, "I'll bet you $1,000 against 100 that they get beat." And I forgot what game it was. It was a football game. And the guy that bet on the $100, they won. So Flair owed him $1,000. And Flair said, "I'm not going to pay you." And he told me Bobby Eaton went to him and says, "You bet. I heard you do it. You bet him $1,000, so you got to pay him." And he said he got 10 $100 bills. He paid him, but he didn't want to. Now, without Bobby Eaton, Ric Flair would have never paid that money. Because this guy he wasn't a name. He was just a guy who used to hang around, OVW. Kenny Bolin, we've had him on.
Mm-hmm.
And he bet him. But without Bobby Eaton there, shaming him, he would never got his money. Now, is that true? I don't know. Kenny Bolin said it. But it's a good story. So never let facts get in the way of a good story.